Now, when you think of Mario Party, what do you think of? Mario Party 3, the relationships that were ended, the many times that dimwit Kyle from your 5th grade science class would brag about how he beat you on Towering Treetop in Mario Party 6, even though he got fucking lucky with the star. Everyone has played a Mario Party, whether it be at a friend's house, a party, or, if you're a loser like me, alone in your home playing against CPUs. Everyone seems to have fond memories with Mario Party 3, 6, and even the newest one, Super Mario Party. But there's one particular outlier from the rest. One Mario Party game that does its own thing, has its own quirks, collectibles, game modes even. However, no one seems to remember it as fondly as I do. That game is Mario Party DS. Of course, not everyone stays talking about one specific game in a long-running franchise like Mario Party for long. I mean, come on, do you guys still see people talking about Link's crossbow training? But it always seems like someone has some form of input when it comes to the more widely known games, such as 3, 6, and of course the newest one. I feel like this happens a lot with DS games, especially if they're a part of a franchise. This happened with Mario Party DS in my opinion, and that could very well be because of the fact that Mario Party DS came out in 2007, the same year as Mario Party 8 for the Wii, and the game could have been very well overshadowed. No matter the reason, I want to put full emphasis on Mario Party DS and why I believe this lesser-known title is the quintessential Mario Party title. I must say, I gotta hand it to Mario Party DS. It has more content than it even knows what to do with. On the first menu alone, we can choose from the story mode, the party mode, the minigame mode, the puzzle mode, multiplayer, and the gallery. First, let's look at the story. The story of Mario Party DS is pretty simple. 5 sky crystals fall out of the sky, and Mario gets a hold of one. Bowser hears of this and invites Mario and his crew over for a feast as an apology to the Mario crew for being a radical terror. The crew goes to Bowser's castle, they all get trapped and shrunk by Bowser's Minimizer. Bowser gets a hold of Mario's Sky Crystal, and after being flung miles away by Kamek, the Mario crew has to fight through the huge world, while also competing against each other to see who the hero or superstar will be. You fight a Piranha Plant, Hammer Bro, Dry Bones, Kamek, and Bowser in 5 different themed boards. At the end of the final board, Bowser's Pinball Machine, you become big again after Donkey Kong snaps the Minimizer in half, and you have to fight a version of Bowser who can morph into different shapes and phases using a Megamorph belt. After defeating Bowser, you get all 5 Sky Crystals, and they combine to make...
Yo, come on, man, I can't have shit in this house!
a shitty puzzle mode. It's a pretty garbage way to end the story, but I'll get to the puzzle mode later. I think the best part of the story mode isn't the story at all, no, but rather the loads of shit that you can unlock and get by playing through the story. It's a lot like Smash Bros, specifically Smash Bros. Brawl, in the sense that you unlock goodies through progressing, and it all makes you feel really satisfied and like you actually achieved something on your journey. You can unlock everything from character figures to music and sound effects to badges, of which get unlocked after doing multiple story playthroughs, and others through Mario Party points, which are basically just status to show how much you've played the game. I believe I've covered just about everything there is to cover about story mode, so now let's talk about party mode. The party mode is fairly simple. You pick the rules of battle, either fighting it like a free-for-all in the Battle Royale mode, fighting in teams of 2 in tag battle, or fighting one-on-one in the duel battle. After that, you pick your characters, then you pick one of the 5 story mode boards that you want to play, and then finally, you choose your settings for the game. If you're a disgusting rat, you can even give yourself more stars at the beginning of the game. Nothing really to write home about here, just the basic player versus CPU battle mode that you come to expect in a Mario Party. You get stars, take turns, get items, play mini-games, the whole shebang, and that's just about it. I'll go over the more game-specific quirks of the party mode in the gameplay section. For now, let's look at the minigame mode next. Mario Party DS has more minigames than I have regrets. Like in every Mario Party game, there's bound to be some bangers and there's also bound to be some stinkers. Out of all the whopping 67 minigames in Mario Party DS, I'd consider almost all of them to be absolutely fantastic, some of them even iconic, models for what Mario Party minigames should be. The 4-player minigames have a good amount of intensity and competition, the 2v2 battles actually require a good bit of teamwork and coordination, and the battle minigames feel like, well, battles. Mario Party DS has some truly fun, challenging, and addicting minigames which should serve as examples of what Mario Party minigames should be. But besides the minigames themselves, we also have minigame modes. Rocket Rascal, you win minigames in order to gain pieces which pave a path to a rocket ship. If you get to the rocket first, you win. Score Shuffle, you compete against others in a series of minigames for the highest score. Whoever has the highest score wins. Boss Bash, you see how quickly you can beat all the boss battle minigames. Step It Up, you compete against others in a series of minigames, and whoever wins a minigame takes one step closer towards the trophy. And finally, Battle Cup. You compete in 5 consecutive minigames, and whoever wins the most out of the 5 wins the cup. These modes are incredibly unique and definitely adds a whole load of spice to Mario Party DS. Like I said before, this game has more content than it even knows what to do with, and for a DS title, this game certainly is the Mario Party that keeps on giving. These minigame modes are a very good compromise for people who want competition, but don't want to play through all the maps and story. But what if you just want to play the minigames themselves? Well, you're in luck, friend, because besides the modes, you can also just straight up play individual minigames you unlocked in the story. So, if you don't want too much lengthy gameplay, and instead want to enjoy the game in bite-sized pieces, you can do that just by playing the minigames. Now that we have fully unpacked the content of this game— oh fuck, the puzzle mode! Okay, to make this brief, the puzzle mode in question is called Triangle Twisters. It's a terrible ending to a very long build-up in the story, and this reward is so anticlimactic that it honestly more so inspires a feeling of annoyance rather than a feeling of being relieved and rewarded. The gameplay is stale and unengaging, and to be perfectly honest, whatever fun the mode had to begin with is lost quite quickly, as it is literally like all the other puzzle modes and becomes incredibly boring, monotonous, and repetitive. The game mode is my sworn enemy and is the single bane of my existence. Now that we have finally unpacked the contents of the main game, let's look at why the game stands out amongst the others.
So, back to it.
Now, I'm not going to overcomplicate this because the answer is pretty simple. Mario Party DS somehow strikes a balance between changing just enough and keeping just enough the same. Allow me to elaborate that point. Remember Mario Party 9 and 10? Yeah, me neither, but that's besides the point. Do you remember the one thing that everyone absolutely hated about both games and undoubtedly soiled the public opinion of the Mario Party series as a whole for a fat minute? I'll give you one word. Vehicular manslaughter. Shit, that's 2. Yeah, pretty much no one liked the car from 9 or 10, and justifiably so. Not only did this obviously go against pretty much every Mario Party standard, but the gameplay just felt wrong? Obviously the lack of independent movement made for what felt like a lack of progress at best, and at worst, a straight-up disadvantage. The removal of coins and replacing of mini stars honestly feels more luck-based rather than skill-based, and the gameplay changes made within the game feel more like a board game to me. Of course, that's what Mario Party maps are based off of, but 9 and 10 just are too linear for me. Now, my point of all of this is that 9 and 10 were received poorly because it made too many core gameplay decisions. The same could also be applied to the contrary, as not enough changes to differentiate the titles could lead to a mediocre title and a forgettable game, such as Super Mario Party. Switching to a completely different game genre entirely, let's talk about guns, America, and death! Call of Duty World War II was the series' return to boots-on-the-ground gameplay following years of domination from exoskeleton movement from Advanced Warfare, Black Ops 3, which I believe was the best, and then finally Infinite Warfare, which was the breaking point for the community. However, the series' return was incredibly underwhelming. But how, meme, you may be asking? Well, the sad and simple truth is that World War II didn't spend enough time in the oven. With the demand of a return to form growing higher every day, the game was released as more of a fan pleaser rather than a comeback. The maps were meh, the gameplay was a little jank, the zombies mode was boring, the story was oh my god, what the fuck, dude, what the fuck, dude? The hub map was actually pretty sick, and most importantly, it did jack shit to be different. We've had way too many COD games about World War II, and in all honesty, I feel like a lot of fans had ditched the wagon the second they heard that the one big COD comeback would be yet another World War II game. long story short, this game wasn't different enough, and it just faded into the COD Hall of... I mean, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't actually good, so I guess it was just kind of okay. You know what I mean? So where does Mario Party DS come into play here? Well, like I said previously, Mario Party DS changed just enough to stand out, but also just the perfect amount to not be too jarring or derailing for the series. What I'm basically saying is, while Hudson Soft did make some prominent and notable changes to the series in this title, they also opted to play it safe and didn't make too many jarring changes to make the game feel like a gimmick or make it seem unenjoyable. For example, the most prominent and notable change that Hudson Soft made in Mario Party DS was obviously the fact that the Mario crew is tiny. Hudson Soft used this to their advantage, and they centered the entire game around it being tiny. It's the theme of the game. You have tiny boss battles, tiny minigames, tiny minigame modes. They used this very well to their advantage and made a very enjoyable and fun game. You also have other minor and notable changes, such as the inclusion of certain minigame modes, slight changes in the item shop, and you have certain space traps. This comes with every Mario Party title, and I think this just added more to the game. But meme, I hear you asking through your screen, pointing at me, laughing, pissing, coming, shitting. What is the Mario Party DS experience? Is the Mario Party DS experience worth it? Should I buy the game? Is it worth it, or is it just a nostalgia trip? Well, I have gone back to play Mario Party DS specifically for the purposes of this video. I got it a while back when the DSi was still a big deal. I gotta say, the Mario Party DS experience is truly a unique one. It's an experience that I would recommend for anybody, and I wouldn't really consider it a nostalgia trip. I genuinely just consider this a very well-crafted game and a very nice farewell letter to the Mario Party Hudson Soft fans. Yes, you heard that correctly. Mario Party DS was actually the last Mario Party game that Hudson Soft had developed. And so this video also kind of functions as a love letter to Hudson Soft for not only making good Mario Party games in general, but making a damn well last one. So, what's the final verdict? I mean, fucking, it's alright, I guess.